We down Chung Wei. That's the only Chinese I know. Welcome back to the Scatterpot podcast.
What does that mean in Chinese?
Go back to China.
I remember that, and I'm glad I remembered that. I was like, doesn't it mean like go back to your country or something like that?
Yes.
Well, congratulations, you scared off all of our
All the Chinese viewers.
Yeah, all two of them that we. No, I don't even.
I don't know if we get any Chinese viewers.
Yeah, we don't get enough YouTube views to get analytics like that.
Mm-hmm.
To get meaningful numbers. Well, so Huber, before we roll into our topics,
Yes.
how was your week?
Busy. My week was busy.
Same. The last 3 days have felt like a week to me.
Yeah, this week I had a bunch of just school stuff to do.
See, mine was less of school stuff and more of work stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because my school stuff hasn't been too bad recently. Just programming on the norm. I wrote probably my longest program in the shortest amount of time possible.
There you go.
Because it was based on like another code that I wrote, just expanding upon it.
Right.
So I restarted from scratch and just like I think it took me like 30 minutes and it was like bang, there we go. There's all the code.
Done.
And then and I hate that code actually. Because it requires user input, but instead of telling you when the user puts in wrong input, you're just supposed to ask them the question again until they put in a right answer. Which personally is a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
I'm the one that likes to say wrong. Like wrong, this is what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then give them the question again. But instead you just keep on throwing the question at them until they guess the right answer, and it's like, oh gosh, it hurt me a little. But yeah. All right, first, why don't you lead us into this first topic? This was your...
So, if you don't already know, which I don't know how you could not know.
I mean,
if
you're not into gaming news, you don't know.
It's been on the mainstream news.
Are you talking about the riots in general, or what we're going to talk about the riots? Really? That's
yeah.
been... Huh.
Cause so yeah, I'll get into that. But yeah, basically, Blizzard, a company, American company, in a Hearthstone tournament. I don't know the guy who won.
It was Blitzchung.
So he said he supports the protest in Hong Kong, and then so Blizzard revoked his title as champion, took his money, and banned him for a year, I believe.
It was banned him from professional play for a year.
And then the casters got banned.
That's the one that doesn't... I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so it's actually really funny. The Chinese censorship deal... We'll get back to Blizzard in a minute. But do you know how many Chinese censorship things have like happened in the last like week? Yeah. Like, because then there's this whole thing with Blizzard. There's the NBA thing with the team manager or someone for the Houston Rockets. Yeah. And then there was South Park.
Yeah, I watched the episode.
South Park was the funniest to me.
Oh, 100%.
Well, because like it was just convenient because like all this is going on. Well, and also it's because South Park makes episodes. I'm not sure if they still do this, but back in the early seasons they made episodes in a week.
I think they do because there's no way they had such a current event.
Yeah. So like the thing, like dude, there's actually a documentary out. I think it's like 6 days to air or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting documentary on how they make their episodes, and it was filmed during them making one of the episodes for like their new season or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting because like you realize how stressful it is every week for them.
100%. Having to animate, draw, and voice act.
Well, the thing is that it was less of the animation and the voiceover. It's the writing process.
Oh, for the episode?
Because the thing is, you have to realize they have to write something that's current and funny and not like too preachy or over the top. Like they have to like find this butter zone, and legit, I swear, the first 4 days of the 6 days to air, they were just trying to figure out the script for this episode. And then they finally got it, and then they just animated it and just...
Yeah, animating I don't think takes long, because they have so many presets, dude.
They have everything they need.
Literally can just... Well, they don't have to draw South Park.
No, they don't.
They literally just put it in there.
So Man, it's a really interesting documentary that I recommend anyone watches, especially if you're a fan of South Park. But so they did that Chinese censorship area episode with all the
Integrity
Disney,
weed.
yeah, integrity farms. No, that whole thing with Mickey Mouse and the Chinese government. That was
Disney.
really yeah,
Disney.
Mickey Mouse.
Well,
That
Mickey
was
Mouse represents Disney.
yeah, that was the thing, and like the whole Winnie the Pooh representing. Oh, it's such a good episode. But my favorite thing is like everyone's responses to it. Everyone's been like, "We're sorry, we're sorry." And then I love. Did you see what Matt Stone and Trey Parker said on the like official South Park Twitter
No.
in response to like them getting banned in China? So I can't pull it up because our Wi-Fi is a poop shoot.
Doo-doo
But
pipe.
basically, it said something like this: is like, we like the NBA welcome our Chinese censors, and it's like we too appreciate.
Oh yeah.
It was like we too appreciate like
It was like
we too appreciate money more than freedom or something like that. It was it was definitely like just a jab no
right.
but all this is going on and it's ridiculous. Now it's interesting to me because like I've been thinking about this and I've been looking into it. I've been doing like some not journalism, but I've been doing a lot of research on this. I honestly feel horrible for Activision Blizzard.
I do not.
Say why you do not.
So yeah, sure, it's the top executives that made the choice. Sure, I understand that. But if they don't understand what they did is wrong, then all their other people, like for example, like the Switch, Overwatch things coming out soon. That team didn't have a choice with any of that. Yeah, they're feeling the reaping of.
So like the thing is that
executives.
it's a weird thing. It's hard to do this, but you have to think that Blizzard is not a person. It is a company.
Yeah, it's a company.
And so like the thing is there are definitely people in that company who don't agree with what happened.
Yeah.
And there have been multiple protests and walkouts at many Blizzard campuses. But the reason I feel bad for Blizzard is because they were put in between a rock and a hard place because of what Blitzchung said.
Mm-hmm.
Now I believe what they did is wrong, but just listen to it.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So Blizzard, I think is about 5% of their stock is owned by Tencent.
Yes. 5%
Okay,
of it.
so they have people on their board that is Chinese.
5%, yeah.
And it's also funny because Epic Games, which is 40% Tencent Games,
Yes.
has actively come out and said like
Against
the Hong Kong, against the silencing.
Yeah, the owner.
Like, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, it's funny because if Epic was not as big as it was, they could not do that.
No, they
Well, because here's the thing, because Tencent can choose to sell their Epic stocks now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it would immediately get bought back up.
Yeah.
Because Epic being privately owned, they have to sell their stocks to someone. And people would be like,
I'd buy them.
They would be like, yes, I'll take a share. But if Epic was like the small people who did the Unity engine and all that, like before Fortnite and the Epic Games store and all that, it would be like, we were not going to say anything about this. We're just going to. But so I feel bad for Blizzard because 5% ownership by Tencent, and their reasoning for, I looked into this, their reasoning for doing all what they did is because it's apparently competition rules. You're not allowed to say anything that could offend a sizable portion of people. So like, which technically, it's weird because like
that's such a like I know because it's a private company, they can make their own rules, right?
Well, yeah, and well, Blizzard's privately owned, Activision is less so, but yeah, it's interesting because it's just like you'd think that like it makes sense like if the dude came out and said like women don't deserve to vote, it's a completely different. It's the same violation, but a completely different story.
Yeah.
But what I feel really bad for them is Blizzard and Activision both are trying to break out in the Chinese markets right now. And they because think about this. Blizzard is working on not Doom Eternal. That's Bethesda. They're working on Diablo Their mobile game for Diablo.
You have phones, don't you?
You have phones, don't you? Yeah, you all have phones. Gosh, Noah Davis and I watched that live, and we just winced.
Congratulations, you just lost half your fans.
Well, and so it was just like, so they are going to release that mobile game, and honestly, that mobile game's not meant for us. Because studies have shown that like 80% of major mobile games like profits come from China. Like they're
called whales. Asian whales, because they spend so much money on mobile games that they're
and so like there's that whole thing. So of course this Diablo game is meant for it's meant for China.
Did you know?
Yes.
Yeah, playing video games is like looked down upon in China, that they lower your social credit.
Really?
When you play them, yes.
Dang.
So it's like, I know they have those cafes where people play.
Yeah. Many people have died in those cafes. But then I also feel bad because Activision recently just released Call of Duty Mobile.
Yes.
Huge success. They are currently in the approval process to be released in Chinese markets. So they are currently at a point where they have potential millions, borderline billions of dollars, as long as this one country just goes.
Yes.
And the thing is that then you have some idiot for another company that you partnered with who freaking just dogged that company that country in the face. And they're like, what do we do? It's like, do we silence him and loot and like get our money, or do we lose all our money and let him speak? And it's just like, so in my mind, they were looking, do we piss off China or do we piss off the United States? And they're like, well, piss off the United States because we're getting more money from China. Because also Hearthstone's total gross is down like 52%. In like and that was like before this whole scandal. Like it's currently at this point in 2018, it had earned 52% more than it current. Well, yeah, we're down 52% from this point last year, and so like they're like, U.S. is dying on us. Let's go to China. So like I feel bad for them because they were. It should not be a games company's responsibility to have to deal with politics like this.
Yeah.
They should not be involved in this in the slightest.
So they shouldn't have made that policy.
Well,
that's what got it in trouble in the first place.
Policy got them in trouble, but the thing is that the policy has to exist because if it didn't exist, we'd have a whole nother slew of issues. Because then people could just say whatever the crap they wanted on their streams.
Sure.
And like the thing is that they're trying to protect themselves and saying like, all right, just don't say anything that could offend anybody. And so when Blitzchung outright said something that offended the right people, but still offended people, he did violate contract and rules of tournament play. So I understand why everything, and I just feel bad because like Blizzard is being made out to be like the huge bad guy in this, and they don't need to be part of this, and they just got stuck in it, and they're just trying to do the best they can. That's, I mean, what they did is wrong. Don't get me wrong. What they did is wrong. I just believe this shouldn't have been as big or as overblown as it is.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
I think the biggest issue is with that is like the protests in Hong Kong are because Hong Kong declares a separate thing from China.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're trying to get like democracy and stuff like that.
But the Chinese government are like, oh no, we own you. So I don't know if you've seen the videos of like
which videos?
Just the police doing stuff to the
Chinese people. No.
With the pepper spray beating them.
Yeah,
one dude got shot.
Yeah, one dude did get shot.
He deserved that because he was like they were beating up a cop on the ground.
Yeah, it's a and then, riots are a weird thing because it always ends up like this. It always gets the headlines of a riot are always going to be when a cop injures or shoots somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, protesters, even though they're fighting for something right, they're not doing it right. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's like
they what they're fighting for is great, but beating up a cop to do it is not so great.
oh yeah, that portion of it wasn't good. But yeah,
Yeah.
What is it? I forget the term, but it's like they have the most arrest per. No, the most. What's the word? It starts with a C, I think. It's convictions.
Okay.
They have the most convictions, like out of any country. So like, if you're arrested, you're pressured into being pled guilty.
Yeah.
And if you don't plead guilty, you go to trial. And if you lose that trial, they send you to a concentration camp.
Essentially.
Which is like, but
no, it's a weird thing. But again, as I said, like I don't think Blizzard needs to be part of this in any way.
if they just wouldn't,
Well, but the thing is that here's the thing. If it's an issue because in my mind it is Blitzchung's fault because he said it and that's violation of law rules and stuff like that. But here's the thing. What he said is worth fight. Like that's correct.
they shouldn't have taken his money and his
then,
title.
But the thing is, you have to realize they have so many things dependent on China trying to
Like if they would have just banned him, I would literally be fine if they banned him. But taking his money and his title, because that's how he makes money.
Well, but the thing is that he's fine. Blitzchung's fine. A company in Australia is giving him the money he deserves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I can't remember the.
That's weird.
I don't remember the name of the company, but there was a company in Australia that said they were gonna give Blitzchung the money he deserves. But like the thing is that maybe taking the money was too far, but I believe he should have maybe been stripped of the title and banned. That's the money he could keep in my mind. But like the thing is that it's just an interest. It's a weird thing, and it's an interesting.
Oh, did you hear that they got rid of the delete account option?
Yeah, well, they blocked all authentication methods so you can't delete your account. Yeah, that's interesting. I saw that on Reddit last night and I was like, "Oh my god."
Apparently like a lot of people delete. I wouldn't delete my account, but I'm not playing the games right now.
Well, it's actually funny. I was talking to someone at GGC who I played Overwatch with for a bit, and he's like, "Kanan, I see you haven't been on like in a week. Are you like boycotting Blizzard?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I've just been playing my Switch and Destiny the whole time." Everyone's like, "Can you boycott Blizzard?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I've just been
on my Switch, man.
I've just been busy playing other games." I mean, everyone's like boycott Blizzard, and I'm like, dude, nah. I'm like,
I want to know how much their stock's down.
Actually, I looked that up. No effect whatsoever.
Right now?
Yeah, no effect. Because you got to think to the market share, like their board of directors and like all the business people, it means nothing to them. They don't care if Americans are pissed at them. They're about to make billions in China.
That's so weird.
It's very interesting.
It's not down at all?
It has not, as of yesterday, it had not budged an inch. It has not fluctuated up or down. It's just kind of like.
That's so weird.
Dude, people, Wall.
Kanan has now sneezed on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, like Wall Street people, they don't care about what controversy people are under. They just care about the potential money they're gonna make.
Right.
And as much as like the U.S. is already, this is gonna blow over in the U.S. and they're gonna go back to normal.
It's rather unfortunate, but yes. Things blow over way too quickly.
Well, it's because we're in the age of the internet where everything happens so quickly.
It's bad.
It's bad, but like honestly, as I said, I feel bad for Blizzard in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine as soon as this blows over. But like it's like that's all gonna blow over, and then guess what? They're gonna release the Diablo game, and then the Call of Duty mobile game's gonna get released in China. They're gonna make they're gonna make gangbusters, and their stocks are gonna be fine. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, this whole situation is very interesting.
But talking about Blizzard, May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, Mei is the only Chinese character.
Yeah, only Chinese.
Because
character.
yeah, there's more Asian, but like she's the one that's China.
Yeah.
So like yeah, people are trying to
I
make.
love it. I love it. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of May.
I've seen like the ones with. I've seen a couple, not a lot.
Just look up May, the word May, and then go to images.
Gosh, well, so like we'll have to talk while my internet literally takes like 5. Oh, it actually loaded pretty quickly.
And then
May and images.
Uh,
So like
it should be
wow, like
yeah.
there's one of her immediately with like a black mask on with
Yep.
with an umbrella,
Yep.
and then her Snowball has a hard hat on that says "Free Hong Kong," well, "Free HK."
Mm-hmm.
There's one of her as Winnie the Pooh, which I think is hilarious.
That was like the most recent one.
That one's hilarious. That's amazing. Uh,
Oh man, it's great.
this is actually great. But then there's also just like May skins.
Mhm.
Just,
Yeah.
but there are some pretty cool. I like this one. It's one of her in her beekeep suit, holding a jar of honey with the
With
Winnie the Pooh,
but
the president,
yeah.
coming over into her with the.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that's interesting. Yeah. So like the thing is that May being a symbol, I don't care.
That's hilarious to me.
But like people are saying like they need to ban her like or something like that to like it's like Blizzard's probably gonna ban her or something like that, and I'm like, no, they won't.
It would literally be like
Well, because think about
that would be so that decision would make or break Overwatch essentially.
dude. Well, but here's the thing: you and I've had this discussion about Brigitte multiple times. Blizzard doesn't have the balls to delete a character.
Yeah, no. Brick should have been deleted, but they decided to
To
make
just
her a piece of paper. So
yeah,
I guess that
so like the
worked
thing
out in
is
the
that
end.
like they don't have the guts to delete a character,
Mhm.
and especially one as profitable as May.
Yeah, she's been out there since the game release.
Yeah, she's been out
So.
since the game's release, but also like she has a lot of merch dedicated to her. They're about to release her statue.
Oh yeah, the statue.
Like, dude, she makes them so much money because like if you go to the Blizzard store merch and go under Overwatch, it's fair to say like 40% of it's May stuff.
A lot of Asian fetishes.
Because there's like, well, it's all Snowball.
Asian fetishes. The Korean diva. You know, someone the Overwatch team has a Asian fetish when Diva got a schoolgirl.
Scotch. Yeah, no, that was a thing. Oof. Like, but
It's my favorite skin too, by the way.
Is it
It
really?
has, yeah, it has the mech's the coolest.
Yeah,
It has like the little, like
my favorite one, her skin is the cat one.
the black cat.
Yeah, I like the black. That's my favorite mech, at least. It's not my favorite pilot, but that's my favorite mech, the black cat one. Yeah, no, it's interesting. My favorite May skin is the Pajama, obviously. It's a great skin. Based on a great short.
Where all her friends die.
Yeah, where all her friends die, and it's all her fault.
It is her fault.
Dude, no,
If she wouldn't have plugged in Snowball.
If she wouldn't have woken up in the middle of the cryo sleep to charge her iPhone.
Yeah, it's like, what's this plug here for?
Unplugs the other like 3 cryo.
Mhm.
It's like, all right. Plugs in her phone and then like goes back to sleep. And meanwhile, her team just dies.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah, no. I mean, May's fine. She's safe. She's not. She's
She
not
should
going.
be fine, but
She's not going anywhere. And also, like,
I just want to know what they're gonna do. Like if they're gonna make a public
dude,
statement. or
it's just gonna
what they're
blow
do.
over.
Yeah,
It's funny. Since we talked about this to put this on the podcast, it's already died down.
not on Reddit.
The May side of it. May side, like, I mean, the Hong Kong and Blizzard boycotts is at its peak right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole, like, May as a symbol thing is, like, it's still there, but it's
Right.
it's already slowly starting to fall down. Speaking of already slowly starting to fall down, Destiny 2.
Yes, it became sort of kind of recently free to play.
It was free to. I think it was a week
last
ago. Yeah, last week it went free to play.
Okay. So last week it went free to play. They released the DLC a few days before or on the day it actually released for free.
I think it was day and date. I think it was like.
Okay, so it's October 1st. I know that.
I think that's when it went to free to play. I don't know.
But yeah, I think we've been playing Destiny 2, and it's a pretty fun game.
It like here's the thing. As someone who played Destiny 1, I know how this is gonna end.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's gonna be a point where I'm just pointlessly grinding to get up like 2 points even.
Yeah.
And just grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding until eventually I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. Which is why I haven't purchased the DLC yet. You've purchased the DLC.
Yes.
I have yet to, because I'm going to grind out as much as I can. And honestly, that's probably... When did you buy the DLC?
Last night.
Last night?
Yes.
Dude, I've been taking it slow because I'm just like, I don't...
You get the season pass with it once you buy Shadowkeep, I think.
Well, yeah, Shadowkeep, there's... Most of the reviews I've seen for Shadowkeep is that it's really fun, but, like, it's very anticlimactic.
I haven't played it yet.
Well, so, like, apparently it ends... And it sets
Spoilers.
up... Well, no, it ends, and I don't know how it ends. It just ends, and it sets up the next DLC, which apparently is part of the season pass deal and all that. But the thing
the Vex, yeah.
But the thing is that they're just like, this was kind of they're like, we want more.
Right,
just,
yeah.
But they said it's like everything that's in it is really, really good. It's just right now it's like,
they might add a little something extra. Yeah.
Well, they're going to when they add the next DLC bump, and it's interesting because I'm curious. I was not expecting. All right, here's the talk. So since Bungie has officially gone solo from Activision, they've separated now, and Bungie's their own independent company. Do you think?
Yes.
That after this DLC run, do you think they're going to continue to work on Destiny 2, or do you think they're going to release a Destiny 3 where they do things their way from the ground up?
I think they're going to continue Destiny 2 because it's come out that the player base has significantly increased again.
Well, yeah, because it's free to play.
Exactly. People are buying the DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
So they said... I think they said they're still going to keep on working on Destiny 2.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, after this DLC wave.
Like, I think they're working on Destiny 3, but I don't think it's going to be released till quite some time later.
So because the thing is that I remember back in the day, Destiny 1, Bungie said, Destiny is going to be a 10-year game.
Yes.
And that was back in 2013. And here we are in 2019, not even 10 years later, and we're in Destiny 2.
Yes.
They were talking about how Destiny's going to be a 10-year game, and they're just going to update Destiny 1 for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe they'll do a sequel. But then 3 years later, they did a sequel. Just like, eh. And so I'm curious if now that they're completely free from Activision, after they release this DLC wave, they like slowly wind down Destiny 2, and then release Destiny 3, which is pure Bungie, 100% Bungie. They do their own thing and go. That's what I'm curious about. I want to know what they...
they probably will.
Because, like, even though Destiny 2 is on the rise right now, I think it's still burnt out a lot of people, like older players who maybe bought Destiny 2 day one.
Yeah, I feel like the people who have had it since day one probably don't play it as much or at all anymore.
Yeah, it's just...
Just one of those games.
It is one of those games, and like, gosh, I remember my old days. What?
We were playing Crucible last night, and it was a PvP, and we were doing survival. And there's like certain weapons that are like PvP related, which is there's the one I got, and it's not good for survival because there was two guns. I'm trying to remember their names. I think one was called. One's this LMG, which apparently LMG and hand cannons are meta. So the two guns are LMG and hand cannon. Those are the two things that are used in survival. I think LMG kills like that, and then the hand cannon, there's like no damage drop off with it, like at all.
Oh no, like hand cannons are ridiculous.
It's actually stupid. So I think that's the next exotic weapon. I'm trying to remember the name though. That's what I'm. Something Dawn, I think.
I don't know. I could name you some exotics from Destiny 1, but that's not gonna help. I remember the exotic to get back in the day of Destiny 1 was Thorn.
That's one of them.
Is it,
That's actually it. The Thorn is the
Thorn is still,
LMG.
Okay, well, Thorn back in Destiny 1 was a hand cannon.
Oh, it might be a hand cannon then.
I think Thorn.
Noah's going for.
I think Thorn was a hand cannon.
Noah's going for the Thorn, so I don't know if it's the hand cannon or LMG. He started getting really mad last night because of those two things that kept on killing us. And then we had sweats that were using shotguns and hand cannons. So they would just rush us, one-tap us, and then it was no fun.
Yeah, it's an exotic hand cannon.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that was okay. So I'm glad to see that's still the gun. Like, dude, back in Destiny 1 day, like that was the gun to get.
I think that's what I'm getting next.
I got Thorn in Destiny 1. And I was like, oh baby, because I love hand cannons.
Yeah, I do too. They're if they were reload just a tiny bit quicker.
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be better because the animation's like.
Yeah, you go like a whole like. So you're a hunter class, right?
Yeah.
What's your subclass?
I'm guessing that's my super, right?
That's yeah. There's 3 different ones.
I use the pistol.
The gunslinger stuff.
Gunslinger, yeah.
That's that was my favorite in the first game, even though the other subclasses are way different now.
Yeah.
But like it's still my favorite because the other ones are like, oh, you get this orb that does damage, or like you get a bow staff and you get to punch people with it. And I'm like, I'll just stick with my gun that I can just go whoop-ah, whoop-ah, whoop-ah.
I don't know if it Destiny 1 it was the same, but okay, there we go. In this game, every kill you get with it replenishes that bullet. So every kill you get, the bullet's replaced unless you miss, of course. So like if you have 6 shots, so it'll stay 666 until you miss or you run out of time.
It was the same in Destiny 1.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's more of just like in my mind, it's more of the time thing because as long as you just aim right, you're not gonna use all 6 of your shots.
Yeah, I only use it. I mean, I use it against bosses, of course, but I use it to get orbs of light.
Yeah.
Then I can get my ult again right after.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a good legit. I use it for like clearing an area, like not like a big boss because a big boss is useful for, but like of course you run out of shots easily
you might
that
do
way.
Like half a bar, full bar.
Yeah, but like the thing is I just like to all the smaller guys just bang 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 and just take them all out. Basically have 75% of my super back, and then freaking just. Oh, I got a text.
Hunter.
It's from Hunter. Oh yeah, apparently at the football game last night, Caleb scored a touchdown.
Really?
And it was funny. I didn't even have to see the video. It's on Hunter's Snapchat, but I was like this. I'm like, he didn't run it in, did he? I'm like, there's no way he ran it in because like I love my brother, but
I'm gonna ask him after this.
No, he didn't run it in. It was a pass. It was like a 5-yard pass.
And he caught it and
he caught it.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah,
that was him.
Yeah, that was him.
I didn't even know it was. Such
it was
such a clunky like pass catch. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, no, he just like.
I saw him grab it, and then the dude that tried to tackle him just fell down. Yeah, and I was like, "What team were they playing?"
I don't know.
I was like, to where the guy like touches him and he falls down.
Yeah, I don't know what team they were playing either, but like, yeah, that was Caleb. That was like
interesting. He was because you can't run out as a
lineman,
so he was a receiver.
Dude, no, well, so here's what happened. I'm not sure, but I'm 90% sure this is how it happened. I'm gonna guess we were stomping that team
more than likely,
and then they were like, "Let's get Caleb to get it.
Let's do some memes."
It's like let's do something for the memes. And honestly, it's a real shame they didn't have him try to run like a 50-yard.
Ready, blue 42.
I would have paid to see him try to run with the football.
Dude, I would love to see that too.
But so the thing is that that video on Hunter's story where it's just like a and then like a very clunky jump and snag. It's like, oh yeah, that was Caleb. Mm-hmm. And so like my brother's like, ask Hunter for the video, and I'm like, and so yeah, Hunter just.
I'm definitely gonna ask him about that afterwards.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna.
Let's get right into the news. That's Keemstar. Nobody likes Keemstar. Anyways,
dude, hold on. Can I just say this?
Go ahead.
I hate Keemstar.
I think his personality is very bad. I think he has a bad moral compass, and he uses other people for his own gain.
Well, that's everyone. But the thing is like, I hate his more on the sense of personality wise. Like the way he tells stories, I hate it.
He made. I don't know if you know much about him, but he made multiple YouTube accounts that got banned for racial slurs and racial stuff.
Really?
And the YouTube policy is if you got banned once before, you can't make more YouTube accounts.
Mm-hmm.
But he has, and he has a YouTube account, Keemstar.
Yeah.
And I guess now that he's making money, they don't care.
Yeah, no,
because he gets some of the money. They get some of the
dude,
money.
I honestly hate Keemstar.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Like every time, like, because the way he does his show too, like, oh everyone, it's like.
Have you seen the Keemstar Deputy Cop or Content Cop?
No.
Yeah, there's a you know what Content Cop is, right?
Essentially, like that.
What's his name? Ian's Content Cop.
Yeah.
He made one for Keemstar a little bit.
Mm.
It's a pretty good one. His most recent one, I think, was the Asian Jake Paul, which was Rice Gum.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like Asian Jake Paul.
Yeah.
It's like that's Rice Gum. It's like yeah. Gosh.
And apparently, a year or two later, I don't know when he made it, Rice Gum has become irrelevant. If you watch the videos.
Oh well, no, Rice Gum has fallen.
I'm so glad, dude.
Dude, I think the world's glad.
He spent his money on like $15,000 jackets, shoes. To me, you shouldn't buy anything that clothes-wise that's above 100. Like 100 is.
What about shoes? Because shoes can easily cross over 100.
People who buy Jordans and all that stuff. No, I don't think those people are not very smart with their money.
So Joe Torres.
Yeah, I mean, well, if that's like your hobby though, like this, that's.
But I didn't spend. I can guarantee you, I did not spend over $100 on any one of these pops.
Okay. But
all these pops, most expensive one I paid for would probably be like $15. And also, do you notice how much more My Hero pops I have now?
Oh wow!
You just like, I love that the camera just sees like your head turn with it.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, I'm gonna say this while I'm thinking about it. Something royally upset me. So like, the day that I got these Stain and Dobby pops, which are over here. I decided it was also the day when I picked up a couple of the other ones. I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna reorganize the shelf. Took me over an hour because I like take them all down, I organize them into the quantities that I have, and then I'm trying to think of a way to space them out evenly, and like how I can put my more favorite collections up at the top. And like, and also I've officially made the decision, Overwatch is down there now because it took up so much shelf room. Almost that whole bottom row except for 6 of them is Overwatch. And then like,
you have a Fortnite pop?
My aunt bought me that one.
Oh, the elf one. Oh, that's Christmas.
My aunt bought me that for Christmas one year, saying, she's like, I saw you have a lot of these in your room. I bought you one I think you might like. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, I hate this pop. Because that was at my chair? No, that was at the point, that was this past Christmas, which if you recall was when like I was like avidly against Fortnite, because stop rocking the table, my dude. You're tempting fate. The cameras are not gonna stand. But no, like that was when I like actively hated it. So as you notice, it's always like it's
bottom.
It's always
corner.
It's the most secluded place I could put it.
Yeah.
Like, but so yeah, my Overwatch pops are there. My big Overwatch pops, they get top shelf privileges because that's where all my big pops go. And it really pisses me off that the Winston's in like a bigger box than normal, but a smaller box than every other big one. And the Rhine is the biggest box, but it's hard to tell. Like, it's barely noticeable. Rhine's is a little more boxy, but like, dude, the Winston pissed me off because that was one of the first big pops they did. Yeah. So like, it was in this box that like fit it perfectly, and then they released the new wave of like 6-inch pops, and they decided to make them like huge. And so like Winston's just gonna be up there like, yo dude, just straight chilling. But what pissed me off is that I organize the shelf and I get it all done, and I lay down in my bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, doorbell rings, and I'm like, what the crap is that? Package.
That was a Chinese package?
No, that Chinese package I had Sam translate some of it using his phone
Yeah.
and Google Translate and stuff like that. So currently, it is at a shipping facility in Shanghai, prepping to get shipped to Miami.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
And I was just like,
Stuff that comes from Asia.
and it's very interesting because I'm just sitting.
Miami's weird though.
Miami is weird.
Why it goes from China? Because I've gotten stuff from over there.
Yeah.
From China to Miami. I'm sure they stop and get fuel somewhere.
I don't know.
But why Miami?
I don't know. Maybe because of like East Coast and it's just like go. It is funny. It's like Sam and I were trying to see if we could translate to figure out what the package is.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. I will promise when that package comes in, we will open it on the podcast.
Bro, I would be hesitant to open that package since you don't know what it is.
Dude, it's a potential that it's something I ordered at one point in time. So I'm gonna open it on the podcast, and if we die, that's
I was about to say, no, I want you to open it before the podcast.
No, we're gonna open it on the podcast.
I'm gonna wear a bomb suit then.
But the package that showed up after I organized it was that Tomura Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, which I hadn't gotten any tracking updates. It just showed up at my door.
You gotta love it.
And I was like, frick on a stick. Because now I got to reorganize this wall. Because, like, the numbers have changed then. I'm like... and I was pretty upset. But I worked through it. And look at that. Look at all those My Hero pops. Which, speaking of which, today is the day that the My Hero Season 4 begins. I know what's going to happen because I've read.
He read.
I read ahead. No,
I guess.
Yeah. Next thing is that the Red Dead Redemption 2 PC requirements.
I have
Do you know anything about this?
no, but as everybody might recall, the console release was a pretty fat sizes game.
Yes.
I believe it was around 110 to 120 gigs, which is, let's say you have a terabyte, that's a tenth of your hard drive.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to delete some games for this game.
I'm trying to find the there's a spec list I found online. I'm trying to find it. Like the thing is that it's minimum and required, well, recommended. It's not horrible except storage wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Minimum requirements. CPU Intel Core i5, yeah, 2500K, or an AMD FX 6300. RAM minimum is 8 gigs. So like it's gonna be a chunky thing. They require Windows 7 or higher.
Yeah.
Graphics card, a GTX 770, 2 GB, or an AMD Radeon.
770.
Yeah,
Okay.
or an AMD Radeon R9 280. So like, that's what surprised me. I'm like, really? Like a 7? But that's minimum requirements. Then some shader info. We'll get to how much disk space when we get to required. But and then you need about 2 gigs of dedicated video RAM.
Dedicated WAM.
Now recommended is a Core i7 4770K or an AMD Ryzen 5 1500 X. 12 gigs of RAM is recommended. Windows.
What an odd number.
Yeah, it is, like, cause
12. It goes 4, 8.
Well, technically,
16.
technically you can get 12.
Yeah, but that's like
Why
would you get 12 though?
My system has 16 gigs in it, so I'd be fine to run this. But then when we hit that, how much free disk space you need, I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem. Recommended is a GTX 1060, 6 gig. So like I could run that easily because I have a 1070 in mine.
1060s are
pretty cheap right now. With
they're like, I would get one for like a budget build if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, 1060 is not a bad deal right now. And then an AMD Radeon RX 480 4 gig for
Yeah, that's what I have.
Is that what you have?
That's the exact model I have. Yeah.
So like we could run this game at pretty close to recommended specs. Our CPUs would be running behind. But Huber, I want you to take one final guess on how much of that sweet SSD, because don't even dare try to run this on a hard drive.
Yeah, no, you're being an idiot to run it on a disk.
On a disk drive. So how much of that sweet SSD storage do you think the people are going to need?
So if I know they toned things down for consoles. So on PC, they probably added a few more lines of code, which shouldn't do too much, but they probably added a few things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say 155, give or take 10.
You are so close.
Man.
150 gigs. 150 gigabytes. So if you're keeping track, if you have a terabyte hard drive, that's 15%
Say goodbye
to your hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you own GTA 5, you could almost download GTA 5 twice in the time it would take you to download Red Dead 2.
Same company.
Freaking Rockstar. Not looking out for your hard drive.
No, they're like...
And here's, I have a 500 gig SSD in my thing. So that is almost half. It's like I don't know the exact math. It's like 30 something percent of my my hard drive. Thankfully, I am looking at buying a 2 terabyte SSD, but even then, that's still 150 gigs. That's a lot.
It's way too much. Well, I mean, for a game that's big, I think it's okay, but that's a lot.
That's a lot of...
I don't know where they could have compressed things.
Dude, I don't think they know what compression is.
I don't think they do either.
They're like, compression?
Well, it's the no loading areas. I think that's what it is.
Well,
like GTA.
Yeah, I know there's the no load, but like, I mean, GTA has loading screens.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on. Like, Rockstar, can you like... Because there are big open world games, and what they do is like they render it out at different times.
It's wherever you're looking.
Yeah, it's like your cone of where it is, and now I can't say how Red Dead's doing it, but like, I doubt if it's 150 gigs that they're doing.
They're probably not doing that.
They're probably just, the whole world's just there.
Just there, yeah.
Which is like, everyone who played the game's like, wow, it feels like this world is actively living. Meanwhile, your hard drive's like,
So try to keep everything loaded in.
Like, that's so... Oh, it's so weird.
It's just too much.
Like, you can compress some texture files and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't have to. They probably, Gary probably forgot to compress the sound files.
No, Gary has been in charge of Rockstar's compression for the last 10 years, and he died at his desk 15 years ago.
Gary, you working on those compressions?
He's just dead.
Working hard, I see.
And they just rip it off his computer like, thanks, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that he has not done it. He's just dead in his... It's like... Yeah, Gary's been in charge of compressing Rockstar games for 10 years, but he's been dead for 15. Family hasn't seen him in a while.
I don't know what this is, but Switch Lite
hands-on. So the thing is that...
Switch Lite?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, I was at a Target recently, and they had a demo station for the Switch Lite. And I held it in my hands, and it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is... Even though it's like slightly smaller, it is significantly smaller.
Really?
It feels way different. I had issue holding it in my sausage fingers.
Meat hands.
And because here's the thing that surprised me. So it is shorter this direction.
Right.
It's also shorter this direction.
Yeah, it's rough.
And like you can tell, because if you look at the Joy-Cons, instead of the Joy-Cons looking like this, they're like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like noticeably different.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to play Tetris 99 on it and the demo station, and I wasn't nailing my skills.
Mm-hmm.
So like I mean it might just be too small for me, but here's the thing. If you are a strictly mobile player, it's the greatest thing. Cuz it is like it's like significantly smaller than the Switch.
Right, yeah.
So like if you are a completely mobile gamer, it's just like like I could probably fit it in my pocket like pretty easily. And like to our junior senior thing where I like snuck it into my coat jacket,
yeah.
I could have done that even easier.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was still the funniest thing. So fun fact about that. So for our junior year prom, I'm with that in quotes, prom.
There's no dancing. There's no.
It was a lot of sweating though.
There's a lot of sweating.
Dude, it was like 90 degrees and we're watching like the things to the mountain and all the guys are like in their t-shirts like
we took off our suits.
dude, we were and then freaking the Ferris wheel was fun. That was nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that was mostly because by that point the excess people in the limo left.
Yeah.
Dude, that limo was a death trap. On the way to Stone Mountain. Yeah, on the way to Stone Mountain, that was the worst ride ever. Because, like, it was like, it could fit 16 people. And then we had, like...
Fit. Yeah,
and then we had like 18 people because Miss Lawrence and Miss Sparks wanted to, like, chaperone us. And we're like, get out of here!
Please!
It's like, we can... Like, I think, like, I can't remember who, but someone was sitting on the floor. Someone wasn't even in a chair. They were
the
just...
people who sat in the back by the
Speakers. Rough. But so the thing is, to have some fun, I like in my jacket pocket, like on the inside of my jacket pocket, I brought like my Switch, and like we just played Mario Kart while we like during the boring parts of the we're just playing Mario Kart, and then it's like, oh yeah. But yeah, I could sneak the Switch Lite a lot easier, and so like I mean, if you're at a local Target and they have a demo station, see if your baby hands can fit.
Try today your local Target.
Try
Sponsored
today.
by Target.
Sponsored by Target. Please sponsor us, Target.
I ain't sponsored. I would take condom sponsorships, please. I would take anything.
We'll take...
Sell out.
Heck, if you want to sponsor our
Funko
podcast,
Pot.
send us $1 and you will be our sponsor.
Any money is welcomed.
Any money
Minimum.
If you see me in person and you hand me a $5 bill, I will say most anything you say as a sponsorship, please. I could use some more Funko Pops.
Alright, so our last topic is
Galaxy
Galaxy's Edge lightsabers.
So this is funny. I teased this a little bit before. So I had a friend who recently who went to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland.
It's a new opening thing, yes.
The new. Also, apparently, I didn't know this. There's only one ride in there.
Cheap. Yes, continue.
Apparently, they have a second one built, but the whole park is canon to the Star Wars universe, and apparently the second ride is spoilers for Episode 9.
What?
And I'm like, how does a ride spoil Episode 9? Boom! No, it legit just plays Episode 9 for you.
That'd be great, dude. You just go through, it's like a 2.5 hour ride. You're like, let me off!
You're just like, I gotta pee! And
it's
like
going super slow, and the screen is constantly moving back. You can't.
No, you're in like during an important dialogue part. You're going through like a tunnel super fast, and you can't hear anything. It's
like the echoing. Whoa.
No, it's like this. It's like Ray. I'm supposed to tell you that.
What'd you say?
Can we rewind that last part? But no, so yeah, apparently the new ride spoils Episode 9, or like contains spoilers for Episode 9, and I'm like, that's a really smart idea.
Yeah.
For them, but like, freaking, it's kind of stupid that you opened the park with only one ride.
One ride, yeah.
It's one ride, and then like a bunch of food places, and it was bound to happen eventually.
Please go watch our YouTube content to see exactly what just happened there.
Yeah.
Instant cut to the same place, because
it actually felt like in a decent manner this time. But like, so apparently it's one ride. Then a couple of like places you can stop at. Like you can go to a cantina and drink the disgusting nipple milk that Luke drank in Episode 8.
Blue milk.
Nipple milk. Yeah, apparently they sell that blue milk. And apparently there's a place where you can build yourself a little droid.
Like Build-A-Bear?
Essentially. And like apparently how it works is legit. They just have a conveyor belt of robot parts going by, and you just have to grab them and just shove them together.
All right.
But then apparently my friend, he didn't do that. My friend said he went to go get a lightsaber because he's like, of course you have to go get a lightsaber. This is a custom built lightsaber.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how it's made first,
Uh-huh.
and then I want you to guess how much he paid for it.
Well, I'm gonna immediately say it's $100 or more.
Hold on.
Because it's Disney, but
Well,
continue.
all right. So here's the thing. He said he was waiting in a line,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he got to sort of the front of the line, there was this smuggler dude who's like, "Hey, it's like okay, we're clear. There's no stormtroopers nearby. It's like I'll show you what we got." And he opens up these drawers that have, I think, so they're cutting down trees, and I think they finally got the tree down. It sounded like a tree.
Yeah, I definitely felt.
I felt that.
The house shook.
Wouldn't it be funny if it just came through?
Like,
The whole pop wall just.
I thought it hit the house because it felt like it. But we'll find out after this.
We'll find out. Is Kanan did Kanan and his family just get a huge cash money check from this guy?
It hits the router. There you go.
Well,
Anyways.
so he said he's like, all right, here are the spare parts we have. It's like which set interests you the most? And there were he said there was 4 sets, and it's like, and he said one of them was like steel, and one was nature, and just random different aesthetics.
Yeah.
And he's like this, and after he picked one, they gave him a badge, little pin, and then they gave him a time card to come back at a certain time. And I'm like, a time card? Why did they give you? Apparently, it's a whole show they do when you build a lightsaber.
Okay.
And so what it was is eventually, they let him in. He comes in, and they're like, welcome. It's this is we are safe here. We are the gatherers, and this whole baloney speech about these people who hunt for the heart, scour across the galaxy to find these rare pieces and stuff like that. And then they hand out they hand you a metal hilt, and they hand you a tray with all the parts that you picked outside, and they hand you all that. Then they go through this whole thing about the kyber crystals and what they mean.
Yeah.
In the new canon, not the old canon. So the red kyber crystals are just red. They're not bleeding. They're just red.
Come on, Disney.
Come on. Because that's what I asked them. I'm like, did they mention that the red one was a bleeding one or something like that? And they're like, no, they just said it's red. It's
Oh.
oh. And apparently he said they did this whole speech where they're like, green for wisdom, red for power, and this whole.
That's not what they mean.
In the new canon, it does.
Oh, red means red.
Red.
That's basically what they just
Essentially, but it was funny because they mentioned a bunch of people who had lightsabers of that
said.
color. It's
That's cool.
and so they're red, and it's
Darth Sidious.
well, no, they start he said it was Darth Maul, Vader, and they go through all these. It's and Kylo Ren and stuff like that. And my friend said he was freaking out because they walk around with these cool little pod things. He says that have all the kyber crystals in them, and you just pick which one you want. And so I think he built himself a green one. He's like, I want green. And he said there was this 3-year-old next to him that just instantly went red. Just give me red. And he said he looked at him oh, okay. Maybe not
Square
3 years
up.
old, like a 5-year-old or something. This kid who's this tiny little boy's give me red. It's and so you put your kyber crystal in, and then your tray that you picked has he said it was a couple options for what kind of base hilt you had, what kind of grip you had,
Right.
what kind of button plate you had, and so basically he said they built it themselves, they put it all together, and then a worker came by and tightened everything up, and then he said there was this whole ceremony where the workers put their lightsabers, they shoved it into a stabilization chamber, which was basically them putting on the light up part of it. They put on the stabilization chamber, and then they had this moment where they were this all together now, light your lightsabers, and then everyone in the room would light up their lightsabers, and they asked you to like raise it up to the sky, and I'm like, what on earth? What kind of cult stuff is this?
I thought it was supposed to be secret.
It's just like, huh? And he said it was actually really cool, and I'm like, I can imagine that being very cool. But how much did you pay for this?
I'm gonna say $200 to $300.
Give me one exact answer. Don't give me a range.
$223.
After tax, $215. You've been really good on the money on the numbers. $215.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
$200 before tax, and then like after tax, is like $215 or something like that. And it's funny. I was like, that is horribly expensive. I'd probably pick one up if I was there.
If I had the money, sure, but like $215.
He says,
does it run on batteries? I'm assuming.
I don't know. He said it's like all made out of metal and stuff like that. It's like
That's
really
cool.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
if
like,
it's durable, sure.
Oh, it's and he said like, and like they also gave him like a sheath for it, which was
like a sword.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, it's not one of those lightsabers that like retracts in.
Yeah.
It's one of those that's just a pure beam of light at the end. So they give you, since a lot of people are traveling out of state or something like that to come here, they give you like a sheath to transport it safely.
Okay.
And he's just like, yeah, and he said it's really high quality, and I'm like, that's ridiculously expensive.
Well, thank you, Disney, for making us pay $215 for a lightsaber. I appreciate it.
And it's funny because I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's ridiculously expensive, but I would, if I was there, I would most definitely take one.
I wonder how much money it cost them to get those materials.
Nothing.
Probably nothing. Yeah.
Like, it's probably $10 a part for them.
They're making a lot of money off that.
But and it's also fun. Apparently, in a gift shop, you can buy like the other color kyber crystals if you want, in case you don't like your color after the fact. It's just
like, I'm not really feeling it.
It's like, you know what? And I'm like, and apparently, like the kyber crystals are like $12.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, how does your lightsaber know which kyber crystal you have inside? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
it's a mystery for
until I hold one in my hands, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, freaking Disney in their Chinese censorship.
Probably made in China. Yeah, a bunch of the stuff.
Dude, it probably is, honestly. Chinese censorship's my dude. Oh gosh.
Well, I think this is
that's all the topics we have on the board, unless you have like a hidden topic up your butthole.
I have no hidden topics up there.
Took you a while to get that one.
I was gonna say up my butthole, but like it just didn't come out.
Constipation hurts us all.
Yeah.
No, Breaking Bad movie came out yesterday as we're recording. I watched it. I will say it's really, really good. I think it's already a little overhyped because everyone's like, this is the true ending that we all needed. And I'm like,
yes. Can't agrees.
Yeah, no, I 100%. It's really good, and it does tie up one huge loose end at the end of Breaking Bad season. But like the thing is that it's not like, holy crap, everything's different now.
Everything makes sense.
It legit's just like, it takes this one character who we don't know what really happened to them after the season and just went like, this is what happened.
Okay.
It's probably them getting rid of that tree that they hit our house with.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well,
that's Scatterpot podcast.
No.
Oh, fact of the day?
Huber's fun fact of the week. Oh,
man, of the week. Let's think here. Let me try to think of something. Come on. Let's think. Anything American. Oh, I don't know the exact percentage, but did you know that the plants in the ocean create, I believe it's either 65% or 85% of the oxygen we breathe?
I'll look this up.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Wait, hold on. Under
my validity. I think that's how you say that. Validity.
Validity. Yeah.
I think validity.
Credibility also would work. Underwater plants, oxygen output. I don't know what to type in for this. Why don't you tell the people where they can find us
So-
while I'm Googling this.
You can find us at all the for the podcast side, which probably is what you're listening to now. You can find us everywhere. The Scatterpot podcast. Everywhere basically except what was it?
YouTube's the Scatterpot Podcast. Scatterpot Podcast is the rest.
But yeah, Scatterpot podcast. Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud.
What about our Instagram that we forgot to post a picture to last week? Even though we went to the movie theater
Did
and
we
all
not?
that, we did not.
Oh,
It's funny. After the fact, I was like, "Holy crap, we didn't."
I thought we did.
No, we didn't.
But Instagram, yes, I believe it's at the Scatterpot podcast, at the _ scat, at Scatterpot podcast, at scatter _ podcast. I don't know.
You're the last one you said is the closest.
At Scatterpot _ podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, I got it.
First try.
First try.
And also, scientists believe that phytoplankton contribute between 50 to 85% of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere.
The more you know.
That's actually a cool fact. All right, see you guys next week. We have a fun video in the works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which we should film something for it today, but I'm really tired and I don't want to.
I want to take a nap and I have schoolwork to do.
So that video will hopefully be coming before October is over.
Should be.
Because we have 90% of the footage we need. Spooktober. Happy Halloween, everyone. We're going to post a video.
Halloween special is eating 1 ton of candy corn. Who can eat it the fastest? Tune in.